Baby, on the beats. We got it covered. Everything sports related. I'ma speak my mind. You can love it or hate it. We got it covered. Everything Lamar. Welcome to RouG Pod. You know who we are. We got it covered. We got it covered.
What is going on? This is the RouG Pod, and we are here for another Sunday evening. Don't know if we should be here because there's no game. But since it is the preseason, Rodney just figured we had to come through and bless you all with some content.
All right.
It's not what happened?
Okay.
It's not how it went?
No, that's not how it went.
Okay.
Not at all.
I just figured, because you're always telling me we got to give the people exactly what they want. So, we had to come out here and give them some content.
Is that what I be saying?
All the time.
Okay. All right.
You say we do this for the people. And being that the preseason is almost over, we have to give the people what they want. We got to give them this content, update them on certain news, talk about certain things. You know what I'm saying? Just be here.
Yeah.
It's our job.
Is it?
Yeah,
because just where I'm from, jobs are the things that people pay you for. It's not like you don't just show up and do things, and then that's a job. you have like a wage or a salary that you get paid.
Well, sometimes hobbies become occupations. How about that?
Sometimes, sure.
And in this case,
sometimes that happens.
In this case, it has. You know what I'm saying? And just like this, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, Rave Kingdom. This is from the stream on Friday. He sent us a $3 tip talking about for an amazing stream. So, yes, look at that.
Wow.
Look at that.
After
the show. I wasn't even working and got paid.
That's great.
It is. All right.
That's fantastic.
I told you this was going to be a short show, so I'm going to try to keep my word to this one.
Good. First time for everything.
You sure? Because I remember there was one time we cut to 30.
Nah, I don't believe it was.
Stop trying to paint the narrative. I don't keep my word because I do keep my
word. Not a narrative. Doesn't need painting.
Okay. Anywho, welcome back to the RouG Pod. This is my man Brodney from Lunch Break Hot Take.
How's it going?
Yeah, he's just so happy and delighted to be here. As we all got a couple things to talk about. First, let's see who's in the chat.
You want to use some of our extremely limited time on that?
Sure, why not? You have to acknowledge the people. Okay. Right. That one dude right there, he's in here.
That one dude.
What's going on? My baby girl Jasmine's in here. How you doing, Jazz? that one guy who streamed a little bit earlier. That dude.
Okay.
Living Big with Big Reg. What's going on? Yes, sir. We are in the building. If I'm not mistaken, after this stream is over at approximately 9:30, Reg is going to stream again.
Nice.
I think they were going to go over some of the topics that we were going to discuss, but that is neither here nor there. It's always good to hear other people's perspectives on things. So, we can keep it real short and hand the baton over to them. We got D Weezy in the house. What's up, Derek? How you feeling? My man, Sion Attic up in here. Yeah, we're not doing 2 hours there, sir. We got Yolanda B in the house. How you doing?
Yolanda?
Cam the Baptist, good evening. Thank you for dropping by. Jose, what is up?
What? Like, why are you shaking your head? Like, I don't understand what's going on.
No, nothing at all. No. What's up, Coach? How you feeling? What's the for? The thumbnail, the title. Is that what the is for? Because it took me by surprise as well. What's going on?
That's Brandon that's streaming tonight.
I don't know who that is. What's going on? Appreciate you for coming through. Oh, that's that guy. Danity, what's going on? Appreciate you dropping by. Yes, this debate is puzzling. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into all that. We're gonna talk about that. But first, as Brodney loves to talk about, training camp is done. As of yesterday, the Baltimore Ravens and training camp is over. So your limited fandom of this team.
I really don't like when you bring me on here. You don't tell me the topics. Like I saw the title and I thought that was all that you wanted to talk about, and now you're like opening up with a different thing. But I am glad that you're asking about training camp, because that is actually the only reason that I came on this evening, is to ask you what's up with you and your Oweh slander.
Who got to you? Who paid you? Who paid you?
Paid me. Listen, I think we have gone over that in abundance. Nobody has paid me. I am just wondering why you can't, just sit back for a second and take a look at all the hard work that Mr. Oweh's putting in, and be why you laughing, and realize that like he's doing his best for sure. And two, he's been doing a really good job, and he's got a lot. He's got a lot of room to grow.
2 out of those 3 statements I think are factually correct. Wow. I will agree. Listen, I will take number from the young man. I will not say that he has not been giving his best or trying his hardest. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have room for improvement. We all have room for improvement. But to say that he's on a certain trajectory.
Oh, you don't like the trajectory talk is what it is. I mean, I didn't use that word or anything, but that's okay. I thought that as Ravens fans, you all would be more in tune with that, because he had 5 sacks his rookie year, he had 3 sacks his second year, and people are really down on him. It's 8 sacks in his first 2 years. Oh, it's not good enough. Blah blah blah. But this past offseason, well, I'm not going to say about this past offseason. We're going to go back a little bit further. Maybe quite a bit further. This dude's old. But Paul Kruger started out his career with 0 sacks as a rookie, 1 sack his second year, 5.5 his third year, and then he hit a stride, right? This past offseason, the guy that you were all clamoring for in Baltimore, 2 off seasons ago, and then again this offseason, Zadarius Smith. You know how many sacks he had through 3 years in his career?
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
How many sacks has Zadarius had through his career?
Through the first 3 years of his career.
Probably like 17.
Probably not.
How many?
Probably not. He had 5.5 his rookie year.
Okay.
So shout out to him. That's outstanding. Mm-hmm. Then he followed that up with 1 in his second year. Okay. Then he followed that up with 3.5 in his third year, for a grand total of 10 through 3 seasons. But since then, he had 8.5, and then in 3 out of the last 4 years, he's been double digits. Okay. Sometimes it takes a little time, right? Odafe Oweh showed, and this is something that we talk. I don't know. Every time I say his name, you start laughing. This is something that we talk about over on Lunch Break Hot Take a lot. The kind of defense that you need in the modern NFL is an opportunistic defense. A defense that makes plays, a defense that gets timely stops, it gets timely sacks, it gets timely turnovers. And he showed the ability to do that in his rookie season, right? He made several big plays for Baltimore. I mean, there are some who say he single-handedly won that Kansas City game, right? There are those who say it. Right. I mean, that's fine to say, Jose, that Zadarius was in the doghouse for his first 3 years, but I'm pretty sure Oweh was firmly planted in the doghouse himself this past season. Every single time somebody would get healthy or anything, his snaps got cut, right? Now, I mean, part of that, obviously he wasn't performing. He didn't have a great season. Nobody's going to deny that. Right. But the other part of it is, John Harbaugh don't know what he's doing, really. Thanks. In terms of developing players. He has no idea. But what I'm saying is, this is a guy who you all knew he wasn't ready to come in and play straight out of college. You knew he was raw, and it was a mistake to draft him in the first round. It just was. He wasn't ready to come in and contribute immediately, which is what you need from first round picks, right? That doesn't mean that he's not going to get there. Right. Okay. So I would like you to one. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I apologize. You think? But one, I would like you to apologize to Mr. Oweh. Okay. And 2, I would like you to adjust your thinking on the young man.
Okay. Those are your asks of me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Not just me, mind you.
Okay, got you.
Not just me.
Got you.
The entire flock.
Not the entire flock, but I understand what you're saying. Majority of them.
A good portion of it. Put it that way.
Okay, so before I apologize to Jason.
No, Davon, not you.
Not you, right? Before I apologize to Jason. Before I apologize to Jason.
Wow, it's like that.
What happened?
Straight right from jump.
What?
You gonna call him the wrong name? You gonna be disrespectful?
That's not his name.
Disrespectful. His name is Odafe.
But his name's not also Jason. He hasn't been. He doesn't go by Jason. He hasn't gone by it.
He did in the past. He doesn't anymore.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you just decide when you don't want to be called something. But okay, Odafe.
It's kind of like how you get angry when I call you Antoine, right? You don't like that when I call you Antoine on the air.
I don't care when you call me Antoine.
Yeah?
Honestly, it doesn't bother me. It's my name.
But to be fair, okay, you want to play that card right now. We have another friend who we stream with who gets really upset when we call him. Really upset. and so we don't do that.
We don't do. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize, Odafe. Before I apologize, let me tell a story. Okay, growing up as a child of the way back, we used to have this television show, and it was called Sesame Street. And on Sesame Street, they used to have this one little segment, and they used to have this song that went when it was like, one of these kids is doing his own thing. One of these kids is one and the same. One of these kids is doing his own thing. Now it's time to play my game. Okay. And in the game that we're playing, we're going to play Zadarius Smith and Paul Kruger weren't first round picks. No, so the kid that's doing his own thing would happen to be Odafe Oweh. Mm-hmm. So yes, they did take a few years to kind of reach their peak, especially contract year for Paul Kruger.
Didn't he?
Didn't he? But Odafe Oweh, and listen, nothing against him. He didn't choose himself in the first round, like we always say. Mm-hmm. But you are a first round pick. And I do think that there are times when you have more pressure put upon you, especially in the Ravens organization, because I say all the time, they put too much undue pressure on younger players.
Yep.
But sometimes these players just don't rise to the occasion. Now, of course, you're going to say, hey, I'm going to use Patrick Queen as an example. It took him to his third year to start making strides and look like the player that he was supposed to be. Granted, Odafe Oweh, do you really think that we're going to see that from him? Like, I don't want him to do bad. I want him to succeed. I want him to make those strides and become that dominant pass rusher that he was in his senior year in college, all of his 0 sacks. So that being said, I'm not talking bad about him on the front of, oh, this guy sucks, I hate him and all that. You need to do better. You were we needed an offensive lineman. We traded away offensive lineman and we took you. No disrespect to you. And I always tell you, it's not the person, it's the pick. We needed an offensive lineman.
I would submit to you then that it's Eric DaCosta who needs to do better.
Of course, we've always
not
said
Odafe Oweh. No, I mean not saying that Odafe doesn't need to do better as well. Obviously, he's still developing. But what you're talking about, that ain't got nothing to do with Odafe. That's y'all's. Oh man, he did it again. That's who. That's who got you in this situation. It's funny. It's funny that you did mention that though. It's funny that you mentioned like drafting him over an offensive lineman because I remember not this draft. Well, yes, this draft, but also I wanted to go back to last year's draft, the previous draft, where you took another pass rusher when you had a need on the O-line in David Ojabo, and then if we come back over to this draft as well, this draft in April, you took a pass rusher when you had a need at left guard and corner. So again, we need to talk to Eric about this because we're not gonna give him the grace of EDC. You got to earn the nickname, right? Right? Eric has not done a great job, and Eric is the reason why the O-line is shaky in spots. Eric is the reason why you're all out here doing prayer circles over Ronald Darby, who's been injured every single year of his career.
Whoa, don't do that.
I mean, but that's not on Odafe. That's right. On Eric.
Okay. I mean, I give it to you, but still, the player does have to kind of take responsibility for his own play, regardless. And I'm not expecting Odafe Oweh to be a superstar. I'm not expecting him to come in and get 15 sacks and live up to these expectations that we've thrust upon him. I just want him to be decent enough. You know, I'll be happy if Odafe gets 8 sacks. Like, to me, I would think that would suffice for me. Like 8 sacks, 7, but just the simple fact that he came through with 3, like, to me, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man First, a $20 tip. He says his mama named him Eric. I'm gonna call him Eric. Appreciate you, Ferris. I'm always counting on you.
Davon saying that the streets are saying that Eric has something else up his sleeve. The streets are always saying that because the streets are looking at the roster and saying, this can't be what he's been doing. This can't be what he's been doing for a calendar year. There has to be something else cooking. And listen, he should be. He should have something else up his sleeve, right? Because you desperately need to solidify the left guard spot. You desperately need a second corner. And I mean, honestly, right now you need a first corner because we don't know how long Marlon Humphrey's going to be out. So he better have something else up his sleeve. And it better not be Ronald Darby.
No, it's that Brown kid. Who's the Brown kid from Dallas?
The Brown kid from Dallas.
That's his last name. His name is something Brown. Noah Brown or something. Whatever, that bum. I mean, not bum. I'm sorry. That guy, that young man. But yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know what he needs to have up his sleeve because from all the prognosticators that I've seen and all the publications that I've read, they said, hey, this secondary is shaping up. The defensive back room is closed. We don't need anything else. We just need to wait for Marlon to come back. Like, what else does he need to have up his sleeve? Like, all the good players that were out there, unless he's making a trade, I don't see him doing anything else. And we don't see him trading off draft picks.
Well, unless he's making a trade, which he could have done to get Jalen Ramsey earlier in the offseason, right?
Fourth round pick.
You're talking about two positions that are extraordinarily difficult to fill. The offensive line and cornerback are two of the most important positions in football, and there aren't enough players to go around in those positions. So I'm not sure that you're going to find on August 20th a team who's willing to trade you a good player at one of those positions. Now, you could go out and maybe sign Dalton Reisner and see if he can fill in that left guard spot, and you should. If you're unhappy with the left guard play up until this point, you should do that. You should have done that a long time ago. But I don't think there's going to be any, any Superman coming to save the day. I mean, it seems unlikely.
Right. Because who's on the trade block possibly that we could bring in that would make sense?
In theory, right? Zach Martin was available. Possibly could have made that call, right? Didn't make that call though. Like you said, Jalen Ramsey was available, obviously. Darius Slay was available, and you just didn't make that work. And like I said, all the O-line suck. All of the available O-linemen are not who you would want starting, protecting Lamar Jackson on a team where you're thinking about making a Super Bowl run. This is something you had to take care of earlier.
Right.
You didn't need Tavius Robinson. You didn't need Trenton Simpson. What are you doing?
You really didn't need Kai Blue Kelly.
No. You didn't need another guy in the room. Not at all.
Another fifth.
And let's be. I'm glad that they drafted Zay Flowers. He looks like he's going to be a very good player. But had you gone out and signed DeAndre Hopkins, you didn't need Zay Flowers. You could have drafted Joey Porter right there.
He was
or someone, whoever else. Whatever corner you liked at that spot. But hey. Zag when they zig and best player available. And,
first of all, we don't. They said
24 straight wins.
They said we don't do. They said we don't do best player available some years. Then other years they say we do. They can't be.
Nobody actually does that. That's what they say when they make a pick that you don't like. The fan base doesn't like. Oh, it was best player available.
Yeah, it can't be true because when they took Patrick Queen, that was not the case.
No, it wasn't.
That was a need. It was a need pick, and they don't want to admit to it, but
it wasn't even a need pick. It was they created a need.
Facts.
And to fill it, they created their own need.
This is true.
Wow, we didn't even get to Lamar and Dak.
Bruh, because you wanted to talk about Odafe Oweh.
Yeah, I mean, I had and you haven't apologized yet to Mr. Oweh.
Odafe Oweh, I sincerely apologize that you have not lived up to expectations. You have not been the player that we thought you were when we drafted you. You have regressed in your second year. Hopefully, your best friend can set you on a trajectory that you can play like an NFL player that was a previous first-round pick. So to you, sir, I apologize. Did that work, Brandy?
No, that didn't work. That wasn't what we were talking about.
Oh, what were we talking about?
Not at all. You could have cut it off after I apologize.
Oh, my bad. I apologize. Did that work? And I didn't even get to the last thing that was a concern for me. Now I don't want no problems. I don't want nobody coming at me. But a concern for me. Thank you. I guess that's not saying thank you. Putting that I guess on the end of it. That doesn't make it sincere.
That wasn't an apology either, was it?
What? So. But yes, my last concern, honestly, is, and I know people are going to say this happens to all quarterbacks, but my concern is Lamar Jackson on the deep ball. Not to say that he can't improve. He's just not connecting with his receivers. Like, he's had some good days and he's had some not so good days. And I just think that we need to get him in this preseason game tomorrow night. I think that he needs to play a little bit longer than maybe John Harbaugh would want to play him. Who was it? CJ Stroud. And I'm not using him as an example. He played the first half of the game yesterday just to kind of get him acclimated. I think that he and his receivers need to get timing down and not just in training camp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they're coaching scared.
I know
they're coaching scared of the injuries. You have what's going on, Zeke? You have a new coaching staff or a new offensive coordinator.
Right.
Here come the stands. What you talking about, Coach?
When I talk about Lamar, because they say you can't say anything bad about Lamar without people coming at you.
No, but who's he talking about though? We just didn't hear, it's just us.
He's not talking about us. He's talking about the ones that are going to see this probably later on and come back and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Lamar can throw deep. He said he couldn't throw deep. I just said there's a disconnect.
Is that who he's talking about, or was he firing shots?
I don't know what Coach is doing.
No, but
Coach is super petty, so I don't
really is. He really is. But you know what, Coach? I see and read things too. All right, but no, but I think they're coaching scared because of all the injuries. You have a new offensive coordinator. You have an entirely new wide receiving core. Because even though Rashad Bateman's been there the last couple of years, he hasn't played with Lamar a whole lot. He needs to be in there playing, right? Absolutely. And granted, you don't want to get him hurt. Of course not. And maybe they're also a little scared of the left guard situation. But I mean, again, one, call up Eric about that. But he has to get on the field and play, right? You can't hold him out next week or the following week. I mean, week one, you can't hold him out and be like, well, we ain't ready. Like, he has to get ready to play. Now, I mean, I don't think it's a major concern. We know what Lamar can do on the field, and you did say, yeah, everybody misses on passes, and I think that if they go out there and they throw the ball more, it'll be less of an issue for Ravens fans and Lamar detractors. Mm-hmm. But he absolutely needs to get in there and get into the rhythm ahead of the season and get some reps with these new guys.
Right. All right. So with that being said, do you think that Lamar should play the first half so the Baltimore Ravens can get that 25th straight preseason win? Because apparently this is such a big deal. Mm-hmm. Such a big deal that we get this 25th straight win. That means absolutely nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, I think he should play. I think he should play the first half. I don't care about getting that 25th win, but that is a big deal for the Ravens.
I mean, yeah. You know what, Davon? You are not the first person to say this. I've heard a lot of Ravens fans say we need to lose this game tomorrow. just to be done with it, so it's not spoke of again. Because once again, some of the flock, they use this as a badge of honor. Like they walk around talking to other fan bases, like, man, we done won 25 straight games. This is NFL history going on right here. But if I go through the record books, it really speaks nothing of it. Nobody cares.
Y'all care.
The only thing that I care about is we don't lose to a DC team. That's the only thing I care about. We can stop the streak at any time, as long as it's not the DC.
Except for Monday.
Exactly.
Hope y'all lose tomorrow.
You are a hateful individual.
No, I hope you lose tomorrow so that you understand that it doesn't matter.
Oh, they said AB playing a half and Josh playing a half.
Yeah.
Oh well. So what does that mean, Coach? Because the third preseason game, starting unit doesn't get in there at all. Are we going to trot them out there for a series or two? So are we just going to try to go the whole preseason and not have our starting unit play a game? Like,
seems like that's what they're doing. And then when they roll out in week 1 and get beat, that'll be the excuse.
Bro, if we get beat week 1,
because it's Houston week 1, right?
Houston, yes.
Yeah, I mean they should be able to beat Houston regardless, but it's week 1. They've got a new quarterback. They've got a new coach. They do have some talent on the team, despite the perception of the Houston Texans. And Baltimore doesn't look like they're trying to get their team ready. They look like they want to use the first couple of weeks of the season to get into game shape, as it were.
Mm-hmm. So this is an issue for me, and Coach, you would know better than I would. Isn't this an issue where when a lot of teams try to do this, they try to hold their teams out for all of preseason, throw them in week 1? Isn't this where a lot of the soft tissue injuries come in? Isn't this where a lot of the sprains come in? Guys not being acclimated to going like full speed for a 60-minute game, and then you thrust them in week 1 and expect them just to come out and just be like, you know what? I'm refreshed. I'm good. Like all is well. And then somebody tears an Achilles, blows out a knee. Like this is the stupid stuff that happens. Why I think that John Harbaugh is not a good head coach. Like you can't be scared. When you start playing scared, this is when players start to get injured.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I'm not the coach. I'm just a dude playing a dude played by another dude. All right. Any last thoughts on this before we get into the real hot topic?
What you mean get into? We had 28 minutes, so I'm gonna be.
We for the people, bro.
We're gonna let you go solo on that one.
We for the people, bro.
I don't really have any last thoughts. I like the Jadeveon Clowney signing.
I do as well. He's up there catching passes. That's what we brought him in for.
And I think that by midseason, this all this cornerback talk will be much ado about mostly nothing. Mostly nothing. I mean, the second corner is not going to be very good, but that was always going to be the case. That was the case last year, and they were the number 3 defense in the league.
True.
So it's not going to be a huge deal. I think they're going to score more points, and it's going to be easier for them to play defense this year, and they'll be fine.
Okay. All right. So, we have a surprise. We have a special guest.
Good. So let me get out of here. And
not at all. Because listen, just the banter between you two is just gonna make this even better. Wow.
Hey guys,
what's up? How you feeling?
Hey, what's up?
I got my water.
Roddy, why are you upset?
Because I'm about to head out. I'll see y'all later. Y'all enjoyed this Dak and Lamar topic?
No, didn't you mention me and say, "Hey, come join us"?
I did not. I didn't message anybody.
I sent the message to everybody.
Yeah, I got it.
Hendo did. Hendo did. Okay.
That's right, Dave.
Gotcha.
You don't want to talk about this Dak talk? Like it's like
why don't you come on camera, Dave? We can talk about the stuff you've been doing.
Do you guys talk about Dak already?
No, we about to talk about it right now. Exactly right now. Like you came in as we were bringing it up.
Nice.
Exactly.
I did hear you guys talk a little bit about Lamar and his deep passing. Listen, man, I think when you're not used to passing, you're gonna have those growing pains, right?
True.
And B's made this point clear in the past, right? If you look at Mahomes, Rodgers, like those guys that They throw the ball a lot. They miss a lot of passes, but you don't think about it because they pass the ball so much. It's nothing to them, right? So it's not a big deal when we don't complete a pass. But here, because we don't air it out nearly enough, when we don't complete that pass, it's like the world's gonna end. But hopefully, we throw the ball more, and it's not a big deal.
I mean, like I said, they're not getting enough reps. To me personally, I don't think they're getting enough time to get acclimated to know the pace that the wide receivers run, the depth that they like to get to, or the depth that Lamar wants them to get to when he throws the ball. We had the issue last year with Tylan Wallace and Prochet and them. They just didn't know where to be when Lamar threw the ball. So I'm not putting it all on Lamar. I'm just saying that it's not where it could be. And I think it's the coach staff. And it's the coach. And it's the coach. It's always been the coaching staff for me. You finally got some players that are actually decent. But now it's kind of like, I'm scared to put y'all out there because I don't want to see y'all get hurt. So, we just gonna make it up till we get to the regular season.
Yeah. And Lamar ain't perfect. Like he definitely has some things he can improve on, and that's one of them.
Facts.
But you remember when they got the husk of Deshaun Jackson out there, they were immediately completing deep passes.
You play the husk.
So, I mean, I think they'll be fine when they get their actual receivers out there.
Let's jump into this Dak talk because supposedly this is a hot topic. I don't know. I didn't hear a lot about it until last night. Big Reg was doing a stream, and one of our patrons, Chocolate Cap, came in and was like, "Did you hear? They're talking about Dak and Lamar." And I'm like, "Nah, what's going on? Are they comparing career?" And I thought they were comparing careers. I thought they were saying, Lamar's going this way, Dak's going this way, but it was a little bit deeper than that. So apparently, this was Ashley Baker.
Yeah.
She was on the show and she was talking to some people about some things, and she just was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be clear. Dak is a black quarterback that doesn't get the same I want to see this brother succeed love that I see with Lamar Jackson or even Jalen Hurts from at this point from our black community. He doesn't gritty. He's not from the hood per se. He's not a part of a popular fraternity. Where's the same energy?" So, what's up, first?
Hey, how you doing?
So, gentlemen, I just want to know how y'all feel about this statement, because one of the guys was like, do we give Dak the same grace as Lamar Jackson? Ashley doesn't think so, and I just think that jokes aside, because some people they look at Dak a little differently. Now, I think the comparison that she's trying to make is the lighter skin complexion to the darker skin complexion. I think that's where Ashley's trying to go with it, saying because he looks a certain way, we don't treat him similar to a Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, she said, she's like, look, this has nothing to do with their play on the field. This has to do with how the black community treats them, right? And certain people, heard Lamar Jackson and went out and got all Hulk Hogan with it and made it about Dak versus Lamar, and it was nothing about that. But what she was saying, I don't agree with either, right? There's a specific reason why black people don't rock with Dak Prescott as much as she thinks that they should, but right. Because he's always on the wrong side of issues concerning black people, right? When you're criticizing other people that take a knee in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick, you're gonna rub the black community the wrong way. When at the height of the George Floyd protests, you're donating $1 million or whatever it was to police, right? Police reform or whatever. Right. You're gonna piss people off. So he earned that. I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? And I personally I root for Dak on the field, but when you do stuff like that, man, you get no sympathy from me. You earned it. You want to alienate yourself like that. That's what you get. You can't play both sides.
Yeah, as I said, he brought that on himself. I rooted for Dak as well, right up until this last postseason game, and just never again. But he did bring that on himself when and it's not obviously not everybody in the black community, but the majority of the black community is going one way, and you stand up and say, no, I'm going the other way. And you shouldn't expect that same group of people to have that same level of support for you. Same thing with Stephen A. Smith, right? When he gets up there and he does his Fox News shuffle, you shouldn't expect people to ride with you the way you want them to, right? Yeah. And I do think it has to do with on the field as well. Lamar Jackson has been derided much more than pretty much any other quarterback in the league right now. He's been called a running back and blah, blah, blah. He hasn't had any receivers. They've responded to the lack of wide receivers by not giving him any more receivers, than giving him a worse O-line up until he had to force them to go out and make acquisitions at wide receiver. Whereas Dak Prescott came into a team that had the best O-line in the league, one of the best run games in the league, and they got him CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. They got Brandon Cooks in there now. Like he's had a lot of talent around him and hasn't performed.
Hey,
and it's the opposite for Lamar.
Real quick, Chocolate Lady Cap. We've been looking for you. Okay,
already took care of it.
We told her.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good. We trying to give you a prize.
All right. You act like you don't want it. All right. So, I'm sorry. You finished, Brian?
Yes.
All right. So, as an NFC least proprietor, when it covers that weak division, do you have anything to add on this, Ferris?
I just want to point out that division is the only division that has 3 teams with 3 Super Bowls each. So point that out.
How far back are we going? How far back are we going first?
2011.
Hey Ferris, where are you? You look like you're broadcasting from your cell.
I am. It's called work. I am in jail. It's my job. Yeah. So I don't have that. That's why I don't have the soundboard and the fancy schmancy air horns and all that jazz.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. What's your question, Tony? Sorry.
Do you have anything to add to this, or your feelings?
Well, on the football aspect, I root for him to fail on every single time I see him. I hope he fails. I hope every time he passes the ball, he throws an interception. Why? Because I hate the Cowboys. I've always hated the Cowboys. I'll never love the Cowboys. I hate them to the day I die. I hope they burn in hell, to be honest with you. And I think that's what kind of given him some cover, because he has an entire fan base that protects him because he's the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback. So he's been protected the entire time since he stepped in. Because here's the thing. He stepped in. He was a fourth round draft pick. They didn't expect him to play. Tony Romo breaks his collarbone. He then rattles off. Yeah. And then he rattles off, I think, 8 wins. And then he finishes off his rookie year 13-3. And then the Cowboys thought they found the second coming of Jesus Christ. But they didn't, and I am happy because he is not, So I really am liking that. But also too, he never got, like, when he was being drafted, no one ever told him to play wide receiver, like ever, like never. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. He was never told you're playing receiver. Even Russell Wilson, even though Russell Wilson was short, no one was said, "Hey man, Russell, you should play fullback or running back." Like, no, it was like, oh, his only knock was that he was short, so like that was his only knock. And I think that's the thing with Lamar Jackson, the discrepancy here, because people start talking about like, oh, is he even smart enough to play it? And then like no one's ever like went after the other quarterback's intelligence. Like Lamar Jackson has been on a different level of scrutiny, and that's what the difference is. That's why there's so much grace in him, because I don't know if you guys have a feeling. I have a tendency to protect Lamar Jackson because I just see I don't like hypocrisy and just blatant lies. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like like there's so many people that push it because I remember when Ryan Mallett came out of Arkansas, his head coach was Bobby Petrino. Lamar Jackson's head coach was Bobby Petrino, and they said Ryan Mallett's going to be successful in the league because he can comprehend Bobby Petrino's offense. He has the mental acumen to be successful in Bobby Petrino's offense. Bobby Petrino is a very stubborn man. He doesn't really change his offense that much to fit the scheme of the quarterback, him, Tyler Wilson. My thing is, so when Lamar Jackson was in the Bobby Petrino offense, so now the offense is easy, but y'all were telling me Ryan Mallett has the mental acumen to be successful, but now Lamar Jackson don't got the mental acumen to be successful. That's why it's just blatant, dog whistle racism with Lamar Jackson during his evaluation process. I thought he was not the fifth best quarterback in that draft. I personally thought he was the best quarterback in that draft. I think was that the Sam Darnold draft? Was that one?
Yes,
Yeah.
Sam Darnold,
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield,
yeah,
Josh Rosen.
I thought he was the best quarterback in that draft. Because I remember, like, I'm sorry, Tony, I have to bring this up. He single-handedly beat Florida State by halftime.
He did.
You know what I mean? And I was like, that's the man. That's the fucking man. And that's what they do. Like, they basically, like, they looked at him, they heard him speak, they thought he was stupid, and he's like, he should play running back, even though he's not. And that's why racially I feel protective of the kid, because I'm like, y'all are so goddamn racist. Like, y'all are so goddamn racist. It's insane to me that y'all see this kid duel it out. Like, he went toe to toe with Deshaun Watson and say you are not good enough to play quarterback. So I'm like, it's just racism, dog. It's just straight up racism. And Dak hadn't really have to deal with that, because, like, the Cowboys fan base kind of protects him a little, because he has the biggest fan base to help him, defend him on an occasion. When he went to Mississippi State, he was one of. It's like I've never, like, Lamar. It's been racism from the get-go. It's like right away. It's like, oh, something wrong with him. It's like, no, nothing's wrong with him. You're just a racist. That's the only thing. It's colorism too. It's colorism.
Well, is that, and also how wrong they were about it, right?
Yeah.
Because typically, black quarterbacks, when they're labeled, wide receiver or whatever, right? They don't really get that they don't really get that opportunity. But I will credit the Ravens for that. They did give him the opportunity. Now, it was out of desperate need to preserve jobs, but they gave him the opportunity, and he ran with it, and he immediately proved everybody wrong. So now it's more of a, hey man, there's egg on my face, because I had such a hot take on Lamar and calling him a wide receiver, and he's not going to be this and that and not going to be that, and then he became a unanimous MVP. Right, clearly he can play, because that was the argument. Can he play quarterback? He clearly can play quarterback. He can play at a very high level. Now the goalpost has shifted to, well, he can't win a playoff game. Then he won a playoff game. Oh well, he can't go far into the playoffs. Like the standard is a lot higher than quarterbacks who have been drafted higher than him, right? So he's held to a higher standard now, simply because people can't say, hey, you know what? I was wrong. He's pretty damn good. That's all. I mean, we make mistakes all the time about players. It's easy to say, damn, I got that one wrong. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Also, two of the three of the quarterbacks that were drafted in front of him are like on their 13.
Yeah.
Well, Josh
and one of them is out of the league.
Speaking of wrong, I thought Josh Rosen was going to be one of the best out of this class.
Talking about getting,
he fooled me.
Oh my god,
he talked the talk. I believed him.
Yeah, he fooled me too, man. Beat me right in the derriere.
He said he's going to make people pay for passing up on him. I was like, damn right.
And they did pay. He played for like 18 teams before he went out.
Yeah, he played for everybody. Everybody
got a check from every one of them owners.
Yeah.
So just kind of reiterate, because I see Jeremy, he's kind of confused by the conversation. This conversation was about Dak, Ashley Baker, from Sports After Dark. And yes, this is a story because Des Bryant responded to her. Justin Tuck responded. Like this kind of got a little traction. But basically, she was saying that Dak. She was trying to say that basically because Dak isn't the stereotypical black man, he doesn't get the support that Lamar gets. And I think she mentioned Mahomes, but Mahomes ain't that stereotypical black man either.
So
right?
That was gonna be my point.
So his dad is.
Hey Jose.
Shout out to Patrick Mahomes.
Hey Jose. Ironically, his mom is too.
Yeah. Well, the other way.
Right. I'm just saying. She just like the dad.
Yeah.
But
it's like stereotypes smashing into each other. Is that what we're saying? Oh my god.
yeah. But I mean,
right.
Like she was saying, that's why he's not getting the love, but she's wrong on that, right? And again, it's about It's about the things that he did to shoot himself in the foot. Because look, I don't crush him the same way I crush Stephen A. You know, the same way I crush, like, you guys know how I feel about Alejandro Villanueva, right? I think he's a straight up coward. I don't crush Dak as much just because he's young. He's younger, right? But man, you know, like, you get what you get, man. Like, when you sit there and you don't want to, you want to protect your brand, so to speak. You know, you got that Oikos brand deal that you stole from Cam Newton. That's another thing, right? You stole that from Cam, right? You got that. Like, you got your Campbells. You got all these brands that you want to protect. So you want to kind of toe that line. You know, speaking of toeing the line, Jerry tells you to toe the line. You know, don't take a knee, and you're like, yes, sir. Right. And then you speaking out against Kaepernick and, you know, other players that take a knee. I mean, that's what you get. Of course, they're not going to rock with you. Right. So that's where that comes from. And also, it doesn't help that you choke in spectacular fashion every year in the playoffs. That doesn't help either.
Yeah. So that was my point. Just sitting here listening to you guys talk about it, it got me to thinking about the point that she's trying to make is kind of counterintuitive. Like, you're trying to make this point of, because of complexion, because of backgrounds and everything, you're pitting two people against one another. So my thing is this: why do you have to try to drag somebody else into a situation to prove your point about another man? Like, why did you even have to? I think she's a Dallas Cowboys fan, if I'm not mistaken.
Huge Cowboys fan. And that's where a lot of this stuff comes from.
Mistaken?
And, you know,
Right.
like, when she makes comments about Lamar Jackson, she's poking fun at the criticism that Dak gets, because she's a Cowboys fan. Yeah,
I understand. But my thing is, don't bring him into the situation, especially in terms of what she tried to do with this one, how she tried to kind of bring it out, because you can sit there and say, because he's not grittying, because he's not from the hood. What does that have to do with anything? The tight end from Miami was grittying. Like, what does one have to do with another? And it's just the fact for us as fans that are fans of football outside of just the Ravens, the Cowboys, and whatever. Listen, I've been following the Cowboys since like '86. So I know some things about them. And listen, Dak Prescott came into a line of succession, and it's not all his fault. He came into a line of succession of chokers at quarterback because he followed Tony Romo. So you just follow the leadership you had before you. So of course, Tony Romo was a choker. You're going to choke. But all of Dak's career, he's had a top 5 offensive line. All of his career, he's had one of the most talented teams in the NFL, season in and season out. And now let me list a couple of guys, because since they want to compare Lamar to Dakota Rain Prescott, let's list some of the weapons that Dakota's had. He's had Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Dalton Schultz, Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, Jason Witten, Cole Beasley, Dez Bryant, Alfred Morris. Those are just some of the weapons that he's had to go with one of the most talented teams ever. And if I'm not mistaken, he only has 2 playoff wins, and he just got his second playoff win last season. So while you're bringing one up with another, it kind of befuddles me, because Lamar Jackson didn't have to go through this criticism. Lamar Jackson didn't have to go through the process of being handed a team that's fully talented and in a weak division, in a weaker conference, to my opinion, and just choke every year. Dak Prescott, to me, is the reason the Cowboys lose every year. When the Ravens have not won in the playoffs, they didn't lose because of Lamar Jackson. That was a total team failure from the front office to the coaching staff to the players. So when you look at the Cowboys, you look at Dak Prescott, you can say, hey, this is all you. So to bring race and to bring team success into it, you can't do that, because you have to know my history. And when I mean my history, I mean my team's history and my quarterback's history before you start talking about it. I know your team's history, Ashley. I know the Cowboys' history. I can go back because I grew up watching them. So, you know what I'm saying? Dak didn't have a coach, but he had the talent.
What did Lamar have?
Facts.
Listen. You listen.
You're
Who
100%.
who do I always compare Harbaugh to? And I started apologizing because
Mike
Harbaugh
McCarthy.
isn't as good as him.
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. If you don't think Mike McCarthy is a good coach, you should think less of John Harbaugh.
I think he's talking about Jason Garrett.
But
Okay.
he's played before McCarthy, what, 2 years, 3 years?
2 years.
2 years.
Right.
This is his second year. He's actually paid for only 1 year.
Oh, because he set out that 1 year. Okay, I heard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
But the point is,
stop it. What about now though? What about last year?
Last year was his first year. Yeah.
What they got to do with
and what happened?
They decided to make their running back their center. That's what happened.
Okay.
You still want to talk about that one play? That one play.
It was the stupidest thing I ever saw.
But okay, so let's even talk about those Jason Garrett years. We can talk about the Jason Garrett years with Dez Bryant, with Jason Witten, with Ezekiel Elliott leading the league in rushing. What did Lamar have? Oh, let's not forget the top 10 defense. What did Lamar have?
He mentioned OC too. What about our OC? Which one would you rather have? Right.
Monty Morningwig, Greg Roman.
Right.
Brian Schottenheimer.
What?
It was Brian Schottenheimer now.
What? What are you talking about? I'm talking about Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore. Sorry. I thought we were comparing OCs. I apologize. Sorry.
We are.
Yeah, I thought that's what we was doing. I thought that's what we was doing.
Right, but it's just the whole point of you trying to bring Lamar into the situation to get sympathy for Dakota Rain. And listen, in all fairness, he's the reason y'all lost in that playoff game last year. He's the reason. The team played well. Those interceptions, untimely, unguarded, like he threw it straight to the dudes. Like without those 2 interceptions, the Cowboys might win. Without him doing the bonehead mistake of running the clock out the year before. I mean,
yeah, that defense stopped the Niners offense. They stopped them. And I think it was the first team, and the Niners went on a run, and they were scoring, they were chugging on all cylinders, man. And they ran to the Cowboys in the playoffs, man, and the Cowboys limited them to I think it was 16 points. Was that correct? 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because they have a complete team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Warbone, just so we're clear, I think a little bit more highly of Dak than the rest of these guys do. I do think he's going to be fine with Mike McCarthy. I'm not down on him. Yeah, I'm not as down on him as everybody else. You know,
I think highly. I find him highly, man, because the man's 9-1 against my team. He beats my team religiously. That's why I want to see him fail. But he's a good football player. He's a good football player. I'm not one of these wacko haters out here who see someone on my opposing rival be like, I'm a discredit. Like, nah, man, the Cowboys have a better team than us. And same, they except running back, that we have definitely a better running back. But after all, man, I would love their wide receivers. Just CD Lamb, really. The other, Brandon Cooks too. He's pretty damn good.
I mean,
if
Michael Gallup can stay healthy.
Yeah, but the problem is he doesn't stay healthy, and if you're not going to stay healthy, what's the part? I mean, it's like it is. And I would love most of their defense, man. They got some nasty dudes down there, man. Get some nasty dudes down there. 11, man. That guy's going to torment me for the next 15 years. I mean, yeah.
Listen, I give Dak flack. He's a good player. I'm not taking anything away from Dak. Dak is a good player. I put him in my top 10 QBs in the league.
I just think when he does get criticism, right, it's always football criticism, right? You criticize Dak football related wise, right?
No, when Jerry Jones came out with that picture back in the day, and Dakota Rain jumped into the front, be like, "No, leave my owner alone."
Look,
no, yeah, I know that.
It ain't just on the field that they.
No, I know that, but that only happens when he does something like that. But if he never does anything, it's always been football criticism. But with Lamar, it's always it's never just football. It feels it's more. I think that's why with Dak is, he also too, he was drafted in they still think the draft means a thing, right? So he was drafted in the 4th round. So expectations were, whatever, or 3rd round. It was whatever, if he. And then Lamar was drafted, in the 1st round. I know he's picked 32. He's still in the 1st round, so they expect a little bit more. But I always feel like criticism of Lamar, it's always a little bit more than just football, right?
Yeah, Dak, of course it is.
Yeah, it is. It's always. But with Dak, it's he has interception issues, he has health issues, and those are kind of football centric criticism. But with Lamar, it's mental acumen. Is he accurate? Why is his mom his agent? What's going on there? Who cares?
So yeah. Warbo, I'm gonna tell you something. Clearly, you're a Cowboys fan, right?
Yeah.
Clearly, you're a Cowboys fan. But I'm gonna tell you something. Like the typing in all caps, right? Trying to throw shots. Like this is why people jump on your team. This is why people jump on Dak, because I get it, man. You love your team, but you start getting irrational when people start making small criticisms of your team. Look, it's a fact. Dak has choked. Like Dak has warranted the criticism that he's gotten, and this has come from somebody who, as a player, I like Dak. Like I like the Cowboys. But choking is choking. I don't care who the coach was, right? Like we can go with it last year. You can say it was his first year with McCarthy, and he still choked. So I think he'll play better this year, right? But in terms of what he's done so far, he has not lived up to what you guys expected him to live up to, right? So, and yes, Lamar's better than Dak. There's no question about it.
Thanks.
That's not a comparison. I'm sorry.
Also, too,
Dak has had all the talent around him. Lamar, all of it.
Also, who cares about the West Coast offense? Literally, every offense is the West Coast offense now. It's all the same goddamn offense.
Nobody even brings up Dak in the conversation. I mean, I'll bring him up. I like Dak. But nobody outside a handful of people bring up Dak in the conversation when we're talking about top quarterbacks. Lamar's always in the conversation.
So we're gonna play opinion. You're gonna say you can't put Lamar in the West Coast offense. That is your opinion. My opinion is you can't put Dak Prescott in an MVP conversation. That's my opinion. So West Coast offense, MVP type quarterback. Let's debate about that one.
But that's a lie, because that West Coast offense comment, literally every offense is now a derivative of the West Coast offense. Literally, they're all copying each other. He has been in a West Coast offense. Everything is derivative. Everyone loves the short passing game to get first down. Just that the difference with Lamar Jackson is that he doesn't have to pass it 5 yards. He can just run for 7 yards. Everyone has been. Every offense is the same now. It's all the West Coast offense.
It's a negative that he can run.
Warbone, you're asking, is he going to run more or less? Is Dak going to lead the league in interceptions in 12 games again?
That's what I'm saying, bro. He missed 5 games and still led the league in interceptions.
Listen, it's all debate. So I'll ask you. All right, I'll ask you to come back during the season, and we can have a little friendly debate upon which quarterback is doing a little bit better. Because I guarantee you, Lamar's gonna have a better season than Dak is.
Look, I'm not a fan of this black on black crime. Okay, all right. So we're gonna have to.
We're gonna move it on.
We're gonna have to cut this short.
All right, fine. That's enough of this discussion. Let's move on to the last topic of the day. First, starting with you. What are you looking forward to for the rest of the season, for this upcoming season?
Hey, man, I want my team to make the playoffs, really. That's all I really want. Because y'all keep telling me we had a shit team last year. Y'all keep telling me we had a shit team last year, right? And we kind of did. And we won 9 games and made the playoffs, right? But then now this year, you're telling me our team is improved. People keep telling me your team improved, Ferris. You got good signings, Ferris. I'm like, okay, cool. We better make the playoffs. If we don't make the playoffs, it's a massive disappointment, and someone needs to answer for that. You tell me you took shit last year to the playoffs, and now this year you tell me you've improved it. If we don't make the playoffs minimum, it's a horrible season. And I'm not speaking diabolically.
Who needs to answer for it?
I don't know, somebody.
Because I know you're not going to say Brian Daboll, who's the only reason that
you know what?
And I know you're not going to say Daniel Jones, because you keep pretending that you like Daniel Jones and he can play. So who needs to?
I like Daniel Jones. That don't mean I like him. He's good. Are there other quarterbacks that I would want over him? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is.
No, but you said somebody. That's what I'm asking. Who needs to answer?
The head coach. The head coach.
You want to fire Brian Daboll if they miss the playoffs?
No. Whoa.
You mean he needs to have a press conference at the end of the season and be like, "Hey, how come you guys missed the playoffs?"
Exactly.
And like, "Hey, we didn't win as many games as 7 teams who made it."
You gotta answer for questions.
And then it's cool.
I didn't say fire.
Gotcha.
You gotta answer for it, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, coach.
That's a good point, coach. That's a good point.
The NFC is easy, but they're probably at best the 3rd best team in their own division.
This is true.
So,
our entire division almost made the playoffs last year.
Almost for us.
Yeah,
The Vikings almost beat the Giants in the playoffs.
Yeah, Carolina almost made the playoffs last
Y'all
year.
almost beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, but I didn't say that. You're the one that
Yeah, but I was insulting you because you're insulting me.
Your quarterback almost threw a touchdown a game last season too.
Exactly.
Got that $40 million though.
Damn right.
Got that $40 million, so you keep leaning on that running back.
He had a turnover a game though.
The only person who finessed the system more than Daniel Jones is Bradley Beal.
What's up, Chen Wu?
Chen Wu is back. What is going on?
Also, too, man,
yeah, he should get $5 regardless.
Also, too, man, I need somebody to win. Try to get the number 1 seed away from Kansas City. That's all I gotta say.
They try every year. Kansas City's the best team in the league because they have the best quarterback in the league and one of the best coaches in the league, and they're interested in maintaining that spot.
Right. What you think? Do we just let them get it? Like, yeah, go away. We'll see what happens.
I'm understanding, man.
All right. How about you? How about you, Jose? For first thoughts again.
Why would they need to take it away? I mean, it's Burrowhead Stadium, right?
Look, I mean, we expect a lot of wins for the Ravens, man. We expect not quite like, look, the 2019 season, I can't say it's going to be that, but I think we're going to have some games that look similar to that season where we're just going to blow some teams out the water if Monken is as good as advertised and this defense can hold up like they did last year. I think this is going to be a very, very good season for the Ravens.
All right. How about you, Brady? What are you looking forward to most this upcoming season? Your quarterback staying protected?
Well, I'd be looking forward to that based on the first couple of games they played. I mean,
it's preseason.
Touche.
I'm looking forward to Carolina winning that division, and I'm looking forward to Baltimore making a Super Bowl run.
I do have a Ravens looking forward to.
Yeah, that's what I think. The Ravens are going to make a Super Bowl run. Lamar Jackson is going to win MVP, Super Bowl MVP. That is my prediction. AFC Championship game be damned. We are going to the Super Bowl. If this team can stay healthy.
Yeah. Hey, Warbone, instead of you got the Cowboys going 13-4. I'm about to say, instead of trying to put expectations on us, and yes, our expectation is AFC Championship. It absolutely is. 13-4. Cool. I think that's about what we predicted. We did an episode on our channel, and if you're not subscribed, you go over to Lunch Break Hot Take and subscribe. We did a prediction show. I think I had like 13 wins.
Is he? Listen, nothing. Listen, and I don't want you to think,
bro, turn off your caps, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't want you to think I don't want you to think I hate Dakota Rain Prescott, but dude has like 15 interceptions in training camp alone. He's not winning MVP.
Lamar had 15 in like one day.
He did have four, but it was third and long. We were doing third and long, sir. But he did have 4 interceptions.
My man went colorblind for a day.
Was he? Here we go. Chen Wu with the positivity.
10 sacks, bro. It can happen.
Hey man, I'm looking like how Odell Beckham Jr. reintegrates himself after the injuries in this new scheme. Looking forward to that. Because that man, he had a trajectory. He was going Hall of Fame. And then, we sent him to Siberia. And I didn't appreciate that. And then it all went down. It kind of messed up there. Then he went to LA, got the ring, tore the ACL again. So I want to see how he reintegrates and kind of in a run heavy scheme, how does he operate? Because he's not Pat, it was in the other schemes, it was like passing the ball, except in Cleveland. Cleveland, they ran the ball out with the Chuck. But like with the Giants, it was him. Because our running back was Rashard Jennings. No offense to Rashard Jennings. Big fan of Rashard Jennings. It was decent. But the main shot was give it to 13. But now in this scheme where it's like it's running, we're a more run-based scheme. How does he operate, blocking and freeing up and not losing focus on routes and be like, oh, now we're passing the ball? I just want to see how we reintegrate.
I don't think it's gonna be a powerful. I
don't think so either, but you never say never,
Hey, Hendo, man, that was a pretty cool graphic you had up there. What did it say?
Oh, that graphic?
Yeah.
That was just a graphic for the Patreon. Like if you want to sign up, become a patron, Just go to patreon.com/RouG, become a member, get some exclusive content, have some after stream parties with us. Just come and hang out. You can do video requests. You can also get into a fantasy football league if there are enough participants to make a second league. Like, it's a whole bunch of cool things that you can get if you go over to patreon.com for just $5 a month. You know, come hang with us.
Warbone, is that 42 touchdowns counting pick sixes?
I tell you what, Warbone, because I like you. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Can Dak stay healthy, Warbone?
Look, Warbone, I'm writing your name here. I'm writing your name down. Listen, Warbone, if you said 42 touchdowns,
okay,
42 touchdowns,
I want in on this.
9
picks, and how many yards? 4,500 yards.
45.
I'll tell you what. I think Dak is talented enough to get the touchdowns and yards. Those 9 picks, brother. I don't think so. But tell you what, go subscribe to our channel because this is what we do over here. Go subscribe. More than Lamar. All right, go subscribe to Lunch Break Hot Take. All right, that's me and Bradley's channel. Come check our show on Wednesday. Let us know that you're in there. If he hits these numbers, we'll give you something from our store. Okay, we'll hook you up with something from our store. Tell you what, we haven't had to give out any payouts thus far. All right. So hey, I would say put your money where your mouth is, but we don't require you to put up anything. Just go and subscribe, and we'll see you at the end of the year. And if he does that, we'll give you a prize. But it ain't gonna happen.
I second that. I'll give a prize as well too.
And no, he cannot stay healthy more than Lamar. Dak has missed 16 games in his career. That's more than Lamar's missed.
There you go.
How about that? How about that? All right, we have been in here for over an hour, and you guys are still rocking with us. Still 48 people up in here with us. Appreciate you. Make sure that you hit that like button. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But we are about to get out of here. So, gentlemen, let these people know what you got going on. We will start with you, Ferris.
All right, guys. My name is Ferris Bana. I am the proprietor of Let's Get Ready Network Incorporated, LLC. Every Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific. Good friends, better rivals. We talk NFC East, Giants, Cowboys. The co-host is a Cowboys fan. He's just as delusional as you other people. So yeah, you guys have someone to talk to. We also talk some, Eagles, Commanders. We do something a little wild, as well as 8 o'clock on our Let's Get Ready Network Entertainment channel. Open Table, where it is our long form video dinner conversation show. This week, coming up on Friday, we have none other than the wonderful, the amazing, splendid. Let's go Splendid. LBHT on the show on Friday.
Yes. Is that it? You done?
That's it. I'm at Ferris Mono on Twitter or X, whatever that shit's going on.
Appreciate you dropping by, Jose, Roddy.
I said, cut it short now, so I'm cutting it short. I follow advice.
All right. Me and B are the Lunch Break Hot Take. We do a live show every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by the Overtime Show, which you can find on our Patreon at patreon.com/LBHT Show. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT Show.
All right. Appreciate you, Jennifer, dropping by. You can also find me here every Friday, 6 p.m. doing intentional grounding. And don't forget, tomorrow night, where you normally can find myself, Bradley, Jose, Chris Just Joking, Coach Evans, and OTR Mike, where we normally do the Ravens Roundtable. Tomorrow night, Coach is doing a watch along. I don't know who's going to show up. We all may be there, but you have to tune in to find out. So tomorrow night, Ravens game. I think the game is at 7 o'clock.
8, I believe.
Yeah, it's on 8.
7 or 8 o'clock, whenever the game is on.
That's the word.
First,
Sorry.
Coach Evans, Sip to Tally Films. Go over to the channel. He is doing a live stream of the game. Make sure you come hang out with us. Appreciate you all. And we just got a late tip from Anonymous.
Salute.
You Anonymous. For the tip, it says, it doesn't say anything, but 1337. Appreciate you. I'll find out who you are and make sure that you get your loyalty points. So, gentlemen, once again, thank you for hanging out with me, discussing this topic. Yes, Coach. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. watch party. Appreciate you, gentlemen, hanging out with me for this last hour. To all my peoples, I guess I'll see y'all next time. And we are going to be okay. We got a new subscriber.
Salute, Rollbone. Salute.
Warbone, salute. We're going to check out your channel, see what you talk about, give you a little bit of what you gave us. But appreciate you nonetheless.
Yelling at him.
Thank y'all, and we out. I'm not even rolling no end credits. We just gone because I'm tired tonight. So, peace.